Found out wife cheated on me. Has been cheating on me, same AP. I tracked down messages to the day it happened. I knew something was wrong the whole time, but I could never imagine this was the thing that was going on. Okay, so, I'm 24 yo. My soon-to-be ex-wife is 25 yo. We literally have been dating for 7 years, married 3 years, with a daughter that's 16 months old. I'm the only one that works, and I make around 100K a year, plus extra, I make trading crypto/stocks/NFT. Our condo is fully paid off from my hard work. She has been treated with so many material things, big and small. I bought flowers and little surprising gifts regularly. For example, I bathed our baby since the day she was born. Every single time, not just to help out, but because I loved it. I helped clean the house every other night. She would take the baby to sleep, just so we could sit, relax, make us some coffee, watch a movie, cuddle, or whatever. Dead bedroom, not because I wanted that. I was always ready to go, and I would always make sure she comes first when it comes to her needs. Always helped her mom and dad that are overseas with money and everything else. I'd have to admit since day one they loved me as their child. Still do. They don't know nothing about this, and many more things. I suspected something was wrong. She was acting weird when I found out. She admitted everything, bursted into tears, begged me not to leave her. I guess too late for that. She already did cheat, physically and based on the texts, emotionally in some way. She does literally cry and ask me not to leave her, every single day, few times a day. Like it's so weird. What are you crying about if I was so bad that you needed to cheat on me? I know for a fact she's not in contact with AP. Even told me when he texted her while I was at work. She even screenshotted it and asked me what should she do. I told her do whatever you want. You got yourself in that position. It wasn't me. She sent him a text saying how everything she did was a huge mistake, should have never happened, that she actually loves me, can't imagine losing me, etc., and asked him not to text her anymore. She even blocked him, etc. I'd love to stay together because it will literally kill me not being able seeing the kid every single day. But you know what I figured? I'd rather suffer not being next to her all the time than seeing her grow up in a household where things don't work the way they should. One thing that's really confusing me: wife doesn't want anything. Doesn't want the car. Doesn't want the condo. Doesn't want the money. Doesn't want a single thing. She swears if I decide to divorce her, and if I can't forgive her, all she wants is a little help with the kid and making sure if she can't afford everything for her that I step in and help. *T. As long as I'm alive, I'll make sure my kid is taken care of. Women and men of this subreddit, I have a question for you. Do you think this could be a case of too much Mr. Nice Guy? Or what is your opinion? I'm very curious. Also, how would you act if you were in my shoes? Also, if my English is not spot on, I apologize. It's my second language. Thank you. Story 2. My wife admitted cheating on Black Friday only after I asked the right question. My wife and I have been married 2.5 years. It's the second marriage for both of us. We met and began a relationship 6.5 years ago, right after our respective divorces. Me after 32 years. Her after 22 years. A couple more details. My divorce wasn't my choice and there was no infidelity involved. Her divorce was because her ex cheated. Also, when she was a teenager, she discovered her mother was cheating on her father. Her parents ultimately reconciled. During our dating, we were both aware of how damaged we each were and worked hard on helping each other heal. The word soulmates was how we described each other. In the weeks/months before D-Day, she'd been dissatisfied and discontented with our relationship. I suggested MC and she agreed and we went. This led to some better dialogue between us, but no real progress. About a week later, through lots of little clues, I asked outright if she was having an affair with her coworker. She admitted she was and said she was in love with him. Apparently, she's never really considered breaking it off with AP. She's led me on with hopes for restoration, claiming to be struggling and confused. Until 2 days ago when I finally asked the right question: is AP worried she'll leave him? She had to say no. He never was, so it's over. She hasn't been forthcoming about anything. I've had to do all the heavy lifting. I still wouldn't know anything had I not asked the right questions. I never realized how dishonest she could be, and it makes me question our entire relationship. I've been emotionally drowning this whole time. I had hoped for restoration, and that gave something I could work towards. That hope is dead now. I won't let myself go there. I was hoping for some relief, but I've just added sadness to the mix of emotion. We both had shitty divorces before and agree we want to do better. No kids together, no shared assets, no shared debts. I know I'll probably never know why or understand. I'm struggling, but I'm a reader and fixer. I'd love resources, especially on splitting in as healthy a way as possible and maybe forgiveness eventually. Ask for any clarification. I left out a lot, and talking about it may help. THX. Update. So D-Day was the day after Thanksgiving. Wife of 3 years is having an affair with a married coworker. I've wanted restoration, and she let me believe she was undecided. She never was. The one thing I asked for as I prepared to leave was that she be careful about my feelings regarding her interaction with Ab. So last night she actually asked if she could go on short road trip with him today to pick up a kitten for his wife. He invited her. His wife was working all day. I lost it. I threatened both their jobs. I threatened to expose everything to his whole family. He hasn't told them. He threatened me physically. I just didn't care. It was freeing. They believed they could control the narrative. I explained I had nothing to lose. My wife saw a side of both of us she didn't like. She's barely said 5 words all day. I did tell her I would not act on my threats, but that I or someone else might in the future. They made their bed. I think it was a big wake-up call for both of them. I was a saint until pushed too far. Moral of the story, don't let them believe they get to control the story. Edit. Update. I spent 3 hours communicating with the AP wife. She appreciated it. Update 1. So, D-Day was Knob 27. Married 2.5 years. Second marriage for both. I stayed in the home of hers until Jan 12. She has chosen divorce in order to pursue her relationship with a married man. So last Saturday I inadvertently found out she was spending the night out of town with him. I know it's none of my business, but I confronted her via text. She denied it, of course. There was no doubt in my mind, so I texted his wife. I also texted my adult stepchildren, as we had been in contact because they didn't know where she was. Big blow-up, of course. Now she texts me saying if I contact her, him or his wife again, she'll get a restraining order. There's been no violence or threats of violence. This is all because I keep calling her out on her BS. A little more info. He's her boss. I haven't called the corporation. I also haven't contacted his adult kids. Now, I'm pissed off. I've threatened to call corporate several times, but haven't because I really don't want to see her fired. She already hates me and blames me for causing problems by telling people what she's done. Now she's threatening me. Coworker won't stop talking. I, 26M, drive to various addresses to work and we are assigned partners. Most of these complaints that you hear about is usually office work where you're in a cubicle. Well, I'm in a car with this person, 30M, most of the day, and I can't really put on headphones and escape them. I am by nature a quiet person. I speak when it's necessary and answer questions honestly. This person will say whatever is on the front of their mind and even repeat it a second time if he feels like it. He makes childish jokes, sexual or racist things, or even just spurts out about his sex life if he feels like it. He also will make shit up and is a compulsive liar. I've caught him in quite a few lies. When he isn't talking to me the whole drive, he will randomly call his wife and speak to her, which gives me a mental break. Sometimes he will call his friends and laugh about stuff. They rarely get a word in. I know this because he has it on speakerphone. A few times here and there, they will hang up on him, and he will realize a minute later that they hung up, and just continue the conversation with me. When he does asks me questions like, "What's your opinion?" I will go to answer, and then he immediately cuts me off with either his opinion or a completely different topic entirely. On top of all this, he constantly reminds me how charming he is and how he is a smooth talker and women love him. When I confronted my manager, they made an announcement to make sure we all try to work and keep conversations appropriate. When I got in the car with him, he talked about how that was weird and just kept talking like nothing happened. We cannot switch partners as of right now because that affects scheduling, and trust me, I've tried. I am at my wit's end. This job pays well, but how to exactly approach this? I know he probably has ADHD and is most certainly a narcissist. Do I just tell him to STFU? Do I tell him how I feel even if I could get a word in? Do I just rip his throat out? Please help. Story 4. 11 years together, married for 2. Found out she cheated 6 years ago. We had only been with each other. Hello everyone. I'm posting here today because I guess I'm a little lost. I don't know what to do or how to feel. I found out 2 days ago that my now wife slept with another man 6 years ago while we were dating. We got married 2 years ago now. To tell the story, we got together in high school. We're in our late 20s. I had only dated one other person. She had dated a few, but neither of us had been sexual with anyone else. At that point 5 years, and she one day told me she was unhappy and wanted to end the relationship because she had met someone else. We talked about it and decided to stay together, but she needed some space, so I gave it. After a week of very little contact, we talked again and decided to work on things and fix them. I asked if she had gone out with the guy she had been talking to. She said no. A few years later I asked again, even though things were okay with us. She told me no, that nothing happened, and we went on. It always kind of struck something in me though. I felt like there was more, but didn't want to push. I think part of me didn't want to know. 2 years ago we got married. I should say, aside from that one moment, we haven't ever had any problems or doubts creep in. We've been happy and together, and it's been good. We've had a happy first 2 years of marriage, and other than the one speed bump, a happy 11 years together. Then she cleaned some stuff from college out of her parents' house. I hadn't planned to snoop, but everything she brought was right by my car in the garage, and I ended up knocking over a journal of hers from college. The very first thing, and there was a letter from 2016 titled, "Dear My Future Husband." Given that I'm her future husband, I mean, who wouldn't read that? I knew when I started reading it that it wouldn't make me happy. She was talking like she hadn't met her future husband yet, though we were together. Then she mentioned having been with another man that year in her letter, but not me. That she slept with him once and regretted it. Naturally, at that point I scanned the journal and found the entry. She had gone on a date with the guy she had met online before she tried to break up with me. They had kissed at the end, which she wrote about as well. She had enjoyed it and decided to end things with me. Her journal says we broke up, but she and I both know now that wasn't the case. During her space from me, she went to his house and had sex with him. She said in the journal that he was rude to her after, and she hated it. She stayed there and went home the next day, and that's the day we started trying to work things out together. I found all this out through a journal 2 days ago and told her I found it. Since, it's been up and down turmoil. I'm broken, and she doesn't know how to be. She swears she's happy and nothing like that has happened again. She tells me it was a one-time thing and she feels so terrible for what she's done to me, and that she has ruined the special thing we had together. Being we had only ever been with each other, I want to believe she's telling me the truth. I don't want to leave, but I also don't know how to trust her. In my mind, that is 6 years of lying about it. Of letting me believe we had only been with each other. Now, I feel like the chump who has only been with one person, and I wasn't good enough for them until they tried someone else. I can't stop picturing them together. I'm just so lost and don't know what to do.